power of real estate investing is now in the palm of your hand. Join the
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it will be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols? Who controls the underlying standards? The future of money will control money.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, you know, I come back just to make you think. And we have global ID, cryptocurrencies, up in the testimony with Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell. And guys, what do we know about the global ID? Now remember the global ID 2020, Accenture, Gavi, Microsoft, Rockefeller Foundation.
What's up, Maui? What's up? Just on here getting a little observation and
guys, we have
listening to my crypto teacher.
What does it do? That's right, biometrics. So everybody's paying attention to the court case. Just a distraction. But all the smart people are staying focused on the money. And we know that Ripple is part of the central bank.
This stuff
Ripple
is going
is
super
part
slow.
of the Society 5.0, the fourth industrial revolution. That's the reason why Ripple, XRP, XLM is all over Asia. Because it's the rise of China and the fall of Babylon. Because when it comes to the New World Order, everything is planned out. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Chair Paul, I'd like to probe a little bit deeper on central bank digital currencies, and in particular the need for secure digital ID.
Hey Jay, when you do yours, does your computer run super slow?
Record is acknowledging that an anonymous, untraceable digital dollar is not a viable option for our country or the free world because its ability to be abused for money laundering, terrorism financing, ransomware, and so on. Is that principle correct?
I wonder why it's going so slow.
I don't think I go on the record for that, but I'll go on the record now for it.
May I on the record that I will.
What a day
Oh God.
to pretend.
Get out of here, Ed.
We need to be very careful about the use of a digital currency for illicit finance, and an anonymous currency makes that much harder to control.
Well, the crypto teacher, he goes into just a different. He does all he does all day long is read these different articles, and like he's super duper in tune with everything that's going on with the market, the crypto market, stock market, all that kind of stuff. And so he talks about how we're moving towards what's known as the fourth industrial revolution. And at the beginning of all of his clips, he always plays Jerome Powell. The Jerome Powell, he's the head of the Fed. Like he's the guy who prints all the money. And so he always plays a clip of Jerome Powell talking about how we're going to a new economy that's heavily leveraged towards technology. And he always has videos that basically just go into more detail about how cryptocurrency is going to be used for the fourth industrial revolution. So most of the cryptocurrencies are not going to make it. But he just talks about the stuff that's not covered in the news, and basically goes into the stuff that people in the news actually talk about, and uncovers either the BS behind it or goes into more detail behind why it's relevant. So he's one of my favorite people to listen to while I'm observing. And yeah, I love listening to him. He's actually a pretty smart dude. I just wanted to do a quick observation. I saw yours. I was motivated. I was like, you know what? Let me just do it. It doesn't have to be all pretty and perfect. I'm just gonna do these anytime I get a few minutes, maybe an hour, just to see if the market does anything worth noting. I'm wondering if it's just my computer that's slow, because when I don't have the broadcast on, it's all perfectly normal. I can't have the broadcast running and the recorder recording. But the good news is that the broadcast records everything I do anyway, so it's all good. And you know what? It's going to get a lot more interesting too. I have an entire file of all of my propaganda all right here. And all of these are different articles that I've dug into that basically say you've got to get your shit together. Talks about silver and how like next year, 2022, we have the Winter Olympics. And that's basically going to be the time where China makes this big move to become, more of a global influence with their currency systems. Meanwhile, let me just print some of this stuff out. Not print, but I'm gonna just look at some of it because I had like 90 windows up, doing way too much at one time. Bookmarks, GameStop, blah blah blah. This is gonna be kind of crazy. Yeah, crypto. It's the new internet. I have, I'll say, a satisfactory amount of crypto, but I can always have more. I have a pretty pretty even spread. I think I'm heaviest in silver. This is actually one of the reasons why. Oh shit! I did not. So this just happened. Holy crap! Well, first I want to take a look back at the market before I. Oh no! Before I get into that article, I want to see what the market's doing. And then OPEC market. Come on, screen, load up for me. What cryptos do you buy, Jay? And why? Oh, bullshit. Hey, what's Stacy? A little late night observation, you know what I mean? If I can get this screen to load and right. Had it up, and then I brought up another article that was um, talking about basically kind of the path we're headed in. and why this skill is going to be so important. Well, last time I checked, Mark is a sharp mother beeping dude. I mean, Morpheus knows what he's talking about. Brooklyn Moses, he knows the way to milk and honey. I miss my mother beeping binary. Hey Stacy, are you on the EU? What pair are you on? And then for you, Jay Carly, yeah, you know what? I actually don't own any Bitcoin. I have, yeah, Ripple. I have Stellar, um, which is basically just like Ripple. I exchanged I still have Ripple in the home account, but I have Stellar. I have, okay, good. Yeah, it's still obeying the range. I guess I wanted to get it. I want to get it tightened up a little bit though. This range thing, man, this is the best thing ever. But yeah, Ripple, and Stellar, because of the lightning fast borderless payment function that they have, and plus all the central banks, they're going to be wanting to use those guys, like all these different governments, they're going to want to use those to speed up their payment processes. So they're definitely going to be relevant in this new phase that we're entering. Then you have hash graph. That's definitely worth looking into. So there's, people think of cryptocurrency as Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is the name brand for the blockchain distributed ledger technology network. But there are other distributed ledger technology platforms. So you got Ethereum. Ethereum, I think Ethereum is actually going to be bigger than Bitcoin. And the reason why is because Ethereum is going to be the protocol used to transfer over $200 trillion of the of debt. So we hold a lot of debt in like these things called derivative contracts, which is basically insurance contracts on insurance contracts. Imagine owning a life insurance policy on a life insurance policy and then having a policy on that insurance. So that's what derivatives are. It's like a $250 market. It's ridiculous. But yeah, the Ethereum protocol is going to be the technology used for that purpose. So, and what does Mara do? I forgot. MARA? I forgot what they do. What do you think of the cases against? Oh, that's just bullshit. I wouldn't even. I didn't even bat an eye at that. Uh, so one thing that the U.S. has, uh, what's a good word for me to say? We have a false uh, belief that we're like the most relevant in the world, but we only represent a nearly insignificant. We only have 350 million people versus the billions and billions of people that will be making trades here and there and exchanging business here and there over in other countries. All of the other countries are going to be using Ripple. So Ripple's not going anywhere. If anything, the cases against Ripple would create a discount opportunity for the people that understand its value. I Ripple is definitely going to be play an essential role in the fourth industrial revolution. I'm 100% sure it's not going anywhere. It's I need to get the book on this because I keep on hearing this word. Have you guys heard of that the phrase Hegelian dialectic? If not, it's used in the media all the time to manage chaos, create chaos, and then manage it, but never cure it. So whenever you see anything on CNBC, there's probably going to be another media source that plays the opposite side, but it's to create panic for the uneducated to get rid of their valuables faster. So with Ripple, same thing. It was hype. It was intentional, and it. I don't know if Ripple's going to go back to some high number. Like $1 or $10 or whatever. I have no idea, but I know that it's not going anywhere. Actually, I would be willing to bet that it's going to go up to a higher number. And the only reason why is because of all this currency that we're printing. So, matter of fact, let me see if I can bring this up without closing my other window down. Go to my bookmarks, go to profit propaganda. Let's see. There's so much stuff here. I need to actually shorten it. Fed calendar, blah, 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 blah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, the Hegelian dialectic, J. Carly, is meant to it's just meant to keep conflict managed. It's a conflict management. The idea is that you create the problem, you wait for a reaction, and then you come rushing in with a solution. So it's almost like you're the villain and you're the villain at first, play the good guy when people need help with problem you in the first place. The stimulus stuff, that's the perfect example of the Hegelian dialectic being played out. And this is another reason why I think that, cryptocurrency is going to help cushion the blow of inflation. It's not going to just be cryptocurrency, but cryptocurrency is going to help soften the blow because all this currency that they're printing is it's 100% unsustainable, and they know that. And if you actually listen to some of the conversations that go on with the Federal Reserve, you'll see that they're talking about moving over into cryptocurrency. The only reason why they haven't done so yet is because they're still building the technological infrastructure. Before we got hit with the corona, everybody was hyped up. Well, not everybody, but all the tinfoilers, and I consider myself a tinfoiler. All the tinfoilers were talking about 5G on how dangerous it was and blah blah blah, this and that. But once the corona came, all the conversations, all the conversations on fell down. But 5G is what's going to help support the infrastructure for all of this cryptocurrency. Let's take a look at the market real quick and see what it's doing. Future token ending of February doing really well at the moment. What's the function behind future token? I've never heard of that coin before, Maui. Future token. Let me click on this thing. Whoops. Oh, cool. Yeah, what is that? Future token? Theory. U.S. government went after Ripple as it. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I can show you guys. U.S. government went after Ripple as a distraction to halt trading so they can pile up. Yeah, and when it pumped up to like 90 cents or 70 cents or something like that, the reason why was because they were moving loads and loads of currency over to Venezuela. Venezuela is looking real shitty right now as an economy. And that's the path that we're headed in. But that's the reason why it pumped so hard. And so the whales or the big guys, whoever you want to call it, they took advantage of that and took some profits. I took some profits at the time. I exchanged Ripple. I have Ripple from me, some Ripple. So she still has hers. I exchanged mine for more Cardano, Hashgraph, and VeChain, but I do intend to add Ripple again. And right now, one thing I'm learning, Stacy, is that if I buy it, I should never sell it. So I kind of broke my own rule, but my rationale behind it was that that my wife had some, so it was just me wanting to get more. I had a preset goal for the other ones, and I had to, I can add back to Ripple. That's my logic, but probably shouldn't have sold it. I should have just added more cash. But my main investment right now, if I were to buy anything, it would just be silver, because that's my not. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Once you buy it, unless there's a fundamental change, let me make a new triangle or a new rectangle because it's too big. Fundamental change in that particular company or asset or whatever, there's really no reason to sell out of it. So I kind of, like I said, I broke my own rule on the Ripple thing because I was more interested in owning Hashgraph because of its long-term value, and the other ones, Cardano. And don't get mad. Don't get too mad at yourself, Jay. I missed out on 60 grand of profit by selling too many shares of this company. Me and my family all buy into. It's called ABML. It's a battery technology company that electronic vehicles will end up needing to use, or at least if they use it, it's going to explode in value. But they went from like 5 cents to $4, and I had like 15,000 shares, but I sold a bunch of them when they were at 25 cents, thinking that a $500 or 500% gain was awesome, which it is. I mean, it's really good. To get all my studio equipment, and yeah, hindsight 2020. I was like, oh, well, I missed out. I missed out on that. So that's another reason why I usually don't make a habit of selling things. But with the Ripple, I think it's going to be used as a stable coin, and stable coins are not designed to go ballistic in price. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So we'll see. Crypto, so my grandkids. Okay, don't tell my kids. Cryptocurrency, like it's going to be with any new anything. There's going to be two sides to it. So cryptocurrencies, they bring a lot of positive stuff, but they also have an equal opposite too. Like, I would never want to have all of my value in cryptocurrency, because on the negative side, you have absolutely zero privacy, even for the privacy coins, which right now they're in the process of trying to get rid of those. But even the privacy coins don't give you full autonomy. The only entities that actually have full autonomy are the central banks and stuff like that. So if I wanted some form of autonomy, I'm keeping stuff off grid. So that's why silver is still my favorite. That's still my favorite investment. Yeah, that's still my favorite investment by far. And it doesn't look like it looks like the market is. I mean, the market has some okay behavior. I see that range tighten up a little bit, but fairly solid. I haven't really seen anything that got my attention transitioning, obviously, to a new position. So let's some stuff. Let's some propaganda, shall we? So I want to show you guys this. I'm gonna bring this up into one of these observations. I promised myself that I would start doing this because I was feeling extremely unmotivated for the, and I'm like, you know what? Forget all that feeling down stuff. I'm gonna do what I need to do. All right. So profit propaganda. Yeah, we do. That's why I'm sitting there looking at articles. Mark, he'll if I'm not watching that crypto teacher guy or some other nerdy stuff, I'm reading some type of nerdy article or watching some funny videos on YouTube. But since it's late, let me go ahead and feed my brain so I can dream about some smart stuff. Check this out. Once it eventually loads, I'll let it load. Have you guys seen anything in the markets recently this week worthy of attention? Okay, Jay, I'll see you. I'll see you later. I'm not going to be on for too long myself. I wanted to just follow through on this. So I'm gonna do a couple more binary, maybe take it till 1 o'clock, 20 more minutes, 4 more binaries. I'm going to call it night. If I can get this thing to load, this is really what I wanted to show. But if it doesn't load, I'll do it on another, probably on Thursday when I come back and do this thing again. Yeah, see, right here you can see that the clock's not really keeping up. It tells me that my my computer is acting a little slow. This still ain't loading. Yeah, I watched yours too, Jay. I watched yours. I just skipped to a minute and a half, and I was basically watching when you changed the positions of your range, and that's what I check for, knowing when the position actually changes, when to apply the range to a different spot. So we need to all do this. StreamYards, it's free, unless you want to get the cool, the upgraded version. It costs like $20, $25 a month, or $250 a year. But it's an investment in your business, so it's tax deductible. I'm not a tax advisor. It's not tax advice. But yeah, it's tax deductible. So I'm gonna eventually get the increased version once I can figure out how to make this computer not go so slow. But yeah, Stacy, when you doing one of these things? That's the real question. When you gonna do this, huh? Wow. The IBC decreased 1,329,400 points, or 99.8% since the beginning of 2021, according to trading on a contract for difference. So check this out real quick. I'm gonna show you guys a 5-year chart, and this I just saw for the time. So let's check back and see what the market's doing. We might have something to look at. Maybe. Let's see. Okay. Mm-hmm. See, I'm not really liking that freezing deal. But yeah, this is the next. I'm gonna still see how it behaves for a couple seconds before I go back to my article. 09, 08. Prices jumping up and down. Yeah, this is lame. Yeah, so I'm gonna just do this real quick, and then I'm gonna go to bed. But I will come back and do these more often. So this is Venezuela. Venezuela's stock market was at 500. What is this? 500. Yeah, definitely do like the range tool, Stacy. My had I can't even imagine where I would be right now had I applied that early on. When I first started, like 2 3 years ago, 3 years ago, I'd be completely in a completely different world. It's a million times easier to be patient because you, if if it ain't no range, then there's nothing to do. Even if it like my biggest weaknesses was falling for the setups, they would look perfect and you know they'd still lose because the timing wasn't right. I didn't understand what the perfect timing looked like on the charts. So I would just do play by play until I eventually saw the parameters line up, and it could even be after an MRMH that I would take one, and the timing would still be off. That was I almost quit, but I'm like, well, I have no other means that I can think of that would get me to freedom. So I just had to muscle through it. But that range tool, 735, I think it's 735. That's the most recent training that he did, and anything that focuses on range, once you get that down, yeah, yep. I tried. I mean, I still have those in my file. I had I am I tried as hard as I could to to reach these goals, and I fell short every time. So now it's just like I just kind of let it breeze by. If I pull this chart up here, you see how these candles aren't really. Yeah, I'm keeping those. I'm keeping those for sure. But these candles, right? I mean, right now there's really nothing for me to do on these charts because there's no respect of range. I mean, technically speaking, I could move this right here. Oops. This is where the true range is, right? Bottom of here. I can actually make this a little bit smaller because this is the top of here. And this is where that range of position is. And so just the fact that the um the range of position is within two areas, it's it violates a strike, that just makes me disinterested. Just that by itself. So really nothing for me to really think about on that. But yeah, so this just happened. I didn't even know that this happened, but now I'm even more excited about this. This is the Venezuelan stock market. Venezuelan stock market started basically it's the equivalent to the S&P or the Dow Jones, right? So imagine the Dow Jones starting off at 500 bucks back in 2018. They started doing massive amounts of currency printing, and their stock market went up from $500 to as high as um, what was it, $500,000 a share. It got so ridiculous that the government of Venezuela had to come in and basically reset their currency, which brought the market right back down to 500. That's 2019. They never stopped what they did, though. They never changed their behavior. And so they would pump money into the stock market up and up and up and up until within not even a full 2 years, the market went from 500 to 500,000, back down to 500 to as high as 2.6 million. Meanwhile, it takes over, it costs 90,000 Venezuelan dollars, they're called bolivars, to buy a carton of eggs. So, or a gallon of milk. But something just happened to the market where they dropped down again. So I guess they must have reset it again. And I'm interested to see what happens with that. Let me see. I think I may have missed. Oh man. Excuse me. Yeah, see, this is no range. It's staying within this range. Let's say if it stays within the range that I put for this box. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah. So it's still respecting this range, but the problem is that this range includes two positions, one on this side of the strike and the other on the other side of the strike. So basically what the training 735 covers is identifying when the market is ranging in one position, not two. Right now it's ranging in two positions. So that's why it's nothing to do. Um, I'm gonna watch one more. I'm gonna watch one more, and then I'm gonna go to bed. But I'm definitely gonna be doing more of these because this is just too cool. And you can learn from. I mean, you can learn from watching other people's stuff, Stacy. But yeah, I encourage you, even if you don't feel like you know whatever, something's missing or whatever the case may be. We all in the same boat. That's one of the reasons why I was hesitating because I mean I'm not sitting at some giant impressive contract side. But at the end of the day, if I set a goal for what I wanted to do with the skill attained from TIAA, and that is to deliver some type of value somehow. And if no one's going to get it, I know I will, because when I review this, I'll be able to kind of listen to what I said and watch what I did. And just like you said, get feedback. Exactly. Yep. And there's somebody else on here too. I don't know who that is. Is Maui still on here? Let's see what other propaganda we can pull up before I call it a night. See what juicy propaganda we got. That's another reason that I wanted to start doing these because I used to do my radio show at a station, but the issue that I kept on running into was that I could never show my articles, and so I would have to go basically off the dome, and it just got frustrating. So now that I've been working from home, I've been building my own little file of juicy, profitable propaganda to be mindful of. This is the one for why I buy Ethereum. Yeah, yeah. So this was back in 2020. Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, blah 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 blah. So yeah, LIBOR is it has like $200 trillion of debt on it. Um, matter. See if this shows. Look at the markets again. Don't want to get too distracted. No, Texas isn't on lockdown. No, I mean, we're not like out running around naked or anything. Most people are still wearing masks and stuff. But no, we're not on lockdown. All right, let's see. Where do you think this is going to end? Give me a signal. One above. We got two different positions that it's in. No commitment. Mm-hmm. See, I should have bought your signal. Let's see. Let's see if Stacy's right. Her whole account on it. Will Stacy be correct? Exactly. That's why I'm going to be all over that pillow here in a second. Well, there you go. 1,000 contracts right there. Yeah. So, yeah, definite watch 735. Huge value add. I felt like, yeah, that's a game changer. This little box, you don't need nothing else. I mean, you really don't technically need the box. It's just makes it more easy to see what's going on and where the position actually is and why, even if you do see a setup, if that box shows you that the position isn't committed to where it's at, there's no thirst, there's no juice, man, none of that stuff. It's just all right, next. So I never could really register that the way that Mark was presenting it because I wanted to make money so much. Now it's just a matter. Uh, it's inevitable. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. It's just a few minutes that I think it was like 30 minutes or so. Nothing big. I just wanted to hop on here and I'm going to probably do another one on Thursday. I'm going to try to do Mondays and then Thursdays, but we'll see about that. Take it easy. Have a good night. And thanks for watching.